Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this special screening of Don't Look Back as part of the second BFI Film on Film Festival. My name is James Bell. I'm Senior Curator of Fiction in the BFI National Archive and also the Programme Director of the festival. When we were planning the festival, we were looking at the various centenaries and anniversaries that fell on it, and we really wanted to mark the centenary of the great documentary filmmaker D.A. Pennebaker. Number of prints in the archive of his films, but for a Dylanophile like me, there was only one, really, and so any excuse to show Don't Look Back, and I'm delighted to be screening it today, and also excited to be pairing it with a real rarity, which I doubt many people here have seen, a 16mm print of a film of Pete Seeger performing in the early 60s. I won't say any more, because I'm especially delighted that Laura Tenschert, the Dylan scholar and host of the fantastic Definitely Dylan podcast, is here to introduce the film. So please welcome Laura. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, James. And it's an honor to be here at the BFI to introduce the special screening of Don't Look Back on 35mm blow-up print of the original 16mm film. Earlier this year, James Mangold's film A Complete Unknown played in the cinemas, maybe some of you have seen it, starring Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. First as the wide-eyed folkie seeking fame and fortune, and then the rebellious rocker ready to burn bridges by going electric at the Newport Folk Festival. The resulting tensions between him and the folk scene played out as confrontations with Pete Seeger, the folk legend belonging to a previous generation. In the film, he's portrayed by Edward Norton. And as James already mentioned, before we move on to the evening's main attraction, it's a real pleasure to be able to view footage of Pete Seeger playing in a London pub. This footage was directed by H.K. Luenack, someone correct me if I'm mispronouncing it, who shot this for Night Films. And the pub is most likely the Feathers near St. James's Park, in case anyone's familiar. And this performance took place in 1964. And this performance, though very different in style to the one that we would encounter in tonight's main feature, nonetheless gives us an idea of the kind of audiences that would have also greeted Bob Dylan at his UK concerts. And what's interesting is that the themes that A Complete Unknown, the biopic by James Mangold, seeks to narrativize are all already present in D.A. Pennebaker's Don't Look Back. This film shows Bob Dylan at a pivotal moment in his career. Pennebaker's camera follows Dylan on his first ever tour of the UK over the course of 15 days in April and May of 1965. This was not the first time he visited or even performed in this country, but it was the first time larger audiences would be able to see the artist who by that point had already made a significant impact on UK culture. The Beatles, after falling in love with the freewheeling Bob Dylan, had started writing more ambitious and more introspective songs. The Animals had had a big hit with their version of House of the Rising Sun, which is based on the arrangement Dylan had recorded for his debut album, and as we know, that was stolen from Dave Van Ronk. And Dylan had inspired other artists to follow in his footsteps. From the beginning of the film Don't Look Back, Dylan is repeatedly pitted against a singer marketed as Scotland's answer to Bob Dylan, a young Donovan. This culminates in a scene in which the two finally meet and trade songs, and it becomes abundantly clear that there's really only one Bob Dylan. But this version of Bob Dylan, the solo acoustic troubadour, was one that he himself was getting ready to retire. The film opens with the much emulated video for Subterranean Homesick Blues, filmed in London the week the single had gone #1, and this song features Bob Dylan and an electric band. And an early scene in the film, his latest album, Bringing It All Back Home, which was released in April of 1965, is playing at a party in the hotel room, like a reminder that sonically, Dylan had already moved beyond the strictly acoustic performances. Indeed, these shows in the UK were the last concerts he played before his infamous appearance at the Newport Folk Festival only 2 months later. And he is already wearing the same leather blazer that he would later also wear on stage at Newport. Even his neglectful treatment of Joan Baez, his former collaborator and romantic partner, takes on a symbolic character as he coldly distances himself from the reigning queen of folk. Just weeks shy of his 24th birthday, Dylan's face is positively angelic at several moments in the film, particularly when it is illuminated by the spotlight on stage. The concert footage shows him as a magnetic performer who holds the audience in the palm of his hand. But there's also loneliness to these performances, and we never see the artist as happy or at ease as when he is singing Hank Williams songs in the hotel room with his friends. In between interactions with fans and the press, Dylan is goofing off behind the scenes, typing on his typewriter, and playing a song on the piano that might become like a Rolling Stone in the not-so-distant future. That the audience is able to effortlessly move with the action is, of course, thanks to D.A. Pennebaker and his direct cinema approach. Pennebaker was a pioneer of the cinema verite documentary and had helped develop the technology that enabled this style of filmmaking, a portable camera with synchronized sound and vision system. The result is a film that never explains, but simply observes, showing us the good, the bad, and the occasionally obnoxious. The title of the film reflects what the director regarded as its subject's fearlessness and curiosity. In an interview, Pennebaker remarked that, quote, "Dylan is an interesting person to watch because he is constantly creating himself and then standing back and trying to witness it. Over the course of Don't Look Back, we're watching Bob Dylan as he creates a version of himself that has defined his early legacy when he was still playing the acoustic guitar, but already the epitome of rock star cool." D.A. Pennebaker passed away in 2019, but as James mentioned, on the 15th of July would have been his 100th birthday. So tonight, we also celebrate his legacy, whose oeuvre has not just shaped film history, but also defined our understanding of what the 1960s looked like. Ladies and gentlemen, cineasts, please give a round of applause to the projectionists, Mike and Hugh, who are making this screening possible, and enjoy Don't Look Back.